In closing, going back to the question people have been asking, why points of light? It's because I've been focused on the dynamic between darkness and light for a long time. When President George H.W. Bush was in office and Nelson Mandela was released from prison in 1990, as a young civil rights lawyer living in Chicago, reflecting on the need for light, I wrote a poem. It's called How I Read a Poem Like This, and it's a privilege to share it with you tonight. How I read a poem like this, how it provoked thought, how I'd like to do the same. Provoke thought about racism, about sexism, about classism, about choice, about basic human rights, human needs, human dignity, about action, about empathy, about apathy. How I think about life in America, how I think about its economy, about its drug problem, about health care, mental health care. How I think about its people, about the rich, about the poor, about the average Joe and Jane on the street, about our leaders, about our illiterate and our homeless. How I think about what I can do to make a difference. Oh, how I think about the crime in my neighborhood. Exhausting. How I think about the victims and the victimizers, the thieves and con artists, the moms with bills and babies, and our gun-toting teens who carry and represent for freedom. How I think about the success in my neighborhood. Invigorating. About our doctors, our lawyers, our engineers, our teachers and tech heads. About our beautiful artists whose words and songs and pictures inspire us to skip from one scene to the next. About those who tap into our natural hopes and joy. About everyday leaders whose life it is to care and pray for others. How I think about our complex judicial system. About the laws and their impact and their intent. About equality. How 5 opinions can change the lives of millions. Think about it. How I think about my education, of the education of my children, of your children, of our children, of all children. People, what is we gonna do? We gonna wake up. We gonna read up, get up, speak up. We gonna count, do the math, and add it up. We gonna rise up, lift up ourselves and others today, today, today. How I think about my lot in life, how I ask you to think about yours. How I read a poem like this, how it provoked thought and action, how I'd like to do the same.